Tau are a young race of technologically oriented beings from the Eastern Fringe and the dominant species of the Tau Empire. Tau, the Tau home planet, was discovered in 789 M35 by the Adeptus Mechanicus Explorator fleet ship, Land's Vision. Adeptus Mechanicus records indicate that at that time, the Tau species had mastered the use of simple tools and weapons, as well as fire. Before the planet could be cleansed and colonized by the Imperium, a violent warp storm erupted around the planet. This continued for 6,000 years, making the Tau's homeworld utterly inaccessible. It was not until the Damocles Crusade that the Imperium again contacted the Tau. The Imperium found the primitive Tau had advanced considerably. In 6,000 years, the Tau had advanced from spears and fire to colonizing planets and pulse rifles. The Tau are a plains-dwelling race. In their prehistory, they lived in tribes on the desert plains, hunting and gathering their food. As their race aged, they expanded to all environments. The Tau of the plains became strong and skillful hunters, larger and stronger than most other Tau. The Tau of the mountains developed the ability to soar high above the baking deserts on thermals. The Tau of the river valleys developed agriculture and metallurgy, forming the first true settlements. The development of settlements led to the need of trade, and wandering Tau began to negotiate and mediate between the disparate tribes. Eventually, avarice got the better of the Tau. Growing pains caused by their unusually rapid technological development led to the invention of sophisticated weaponry. The Tau of the river valleys developed stone fortresses and crude black powder weapons to ward off the aggressive Tau of the plains. These fledgling skirmishes led to the darkest period in Tau history, the Montau. The numerous wars that broke out lasted for years. Each year, thousands died as squalid conditions and lack of access to fresh food and water created a plague that killed more Tau than were dying in the wars. The Tau were on the verge of wiping themselves out. Out of the destruction and darkness of the Montau came the guiding light, the Ethereals. Tau legends tell of the first appearance of Ethereals at Phaeton. The fortress city of Phaeton was under assault by the warriors from the plains. Though negotiation had been attempted, the fierce plain warriors would settle for nothing less than the annihilation of Phaeton. For 5 long years, the inhabitants held off the savage assaults with their thick walls and plentiful cannons. However, disease and starvation began to take their toll. As the tide of the siege turned, 2 mysterious Tau appeared. One made his way into the camp of the Plains Tau, exuding a quiet authority that no Tau was able to resist. Soon, the leader of the Plains Warriors was persuaded to parley with the Tau of Phaeton. Similarly, the other mysterious Tau made his way deep into the fortress. Within a few short hours, the gate stood wide open, and the Tau stood ready to talk. The Ethereals spoke of the importance of peace and understanding between all Tau. They described a greater good that each Tau must strive towards. The besiegers and the besieged quickly agreed with the Ethereals, and a truce was reached. Across the land, Ethereals emerged, each with the same quiet authority and message of harmony and cooperation. With the Tau united, a great civilization began. The introduction of the Ethereals to Tau society led to the creation of a rigid caste system, with each caste taking on the name of an element that is close to them. Thus, the warriors of the Tau Empire became known as the Fire Shaz caste, due to their fiery temper. The artisans and scientists became known as the Earth File caste, being the most pragmatic of the Tau. The diplomats and administrators became known as the Water Poor caste, as water flows through all life, uniting it. Lastly, the Tau messengers and spies became known as the Air Core caste, traversing the land on top of gusts of wind. With the invention of aircraft and later spacecraft, the Air caste would become the pilots of the Tau Navy.